Hello everyone, welcome to Redbust US channel. In this video, we'll look at the recent proclamation by President Biden that bans travelers from India to enter US. So we'll look at the exceptions, we'll look at the process to travel that's given by US Embassy under nation interest exception. We'll look at what the situation of F1 and H1B visa holders and other as well. So this is what we will cover in this video, like an outline of what we will cover in this video. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do subscribe for getting regular updates. So this is the proclamation that has actually that was signed by Biden on April 30th. As you can see, the proclamation is on the suspension of entry as a non-immigrant. The non-immigrant is very, very key of certain additional persons who pose risk of transmitting coronavirus disease 2019. Yeah, so this is the whole idea, to stop this. And if you look at the reason for travel ban, it's based on recommendation from CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and based on the situation in India. That's the reason they did it. And they also mentioned that it's because of the new variant in India called B.1.617. And also they say that there are many other variants from UK and South Africa that are present in India. So in looking at all of these as a proactive measure, they've actually done this step to essentially stop travel from India. Now, in terms of who all does the travel ban apply to? So the key part in this is you have to be physically present in India during the 14 days before the entry. Yeah? So that is very, very important. If you are not in India for 14 days before you travel, then I think you're exempted. I mean, that's one of the ways you should look at it. And there are, unless you followed certain exceptions. Yeah. So they're given certain exceptions based on proclamation, and also US Department of State also gives some exceptions based on something called a national interest waiver. So if you fall under that exceptions, then also you don't have to. Then you can travel. So if you can see the screenshot, it says clearly that you have to be physically present within the Republic of India during the 14 days preceding your entry or your attempted entry. What attempted entry is nothing but, let's say you came to US and you were sent back for whatever reason in the last 14, before 14 days, the rule, right? Then you're still subject to that. That's what they mean, attempted to entry. Now, the other aspects are the exceptions, right? Who all it applies to. So they don't give an explicit list who all it applies to, other than a blanket statement telling all non-immigrants. But what we can get out of that is to break it down, right? It applies to H1B visa holders, H4 holders, L1A, L1B, L2, B1, B2, including parents who are traveling on B2 visas, F1, J1, M1, all sorts of students, right? If the program starts on August 1st, unless the program starts on August 1st or later, and most of the other non-immigrant visa holders that I have not listed above, right? So this all it falls in, right? And now, who fall under exceptions means who are exempted from the travel ban. So there are two aspects to it. One is exceptions based on the President Proclamation, means that these are exemptions that are already added in the Presidential Proclamation. So that is why we call them Presidential Proclamation. And what it means is you don't have to get a special permission if you qualify under this or need to check with anyone, because it's already part of the proclamation. And who are a part of this are if you're a US citizen or US green card holder, or you're an immigrant visa holder, basically somebody who has an immigrant visa and seeking to enter US to get the green card. Yeah? So these are the people who applied for green card outside of the US and have an valid immigrant visa. So they can travel. Yeah, so that's what it is. And if you're a spouse of US citizen, or if your parents are legal guardians of US citizens who are under 21 years of age, or siblings of US citizens or green card holders under 21 years of age, or if you're a diplomat traveling on ARG visas, other visas like E1, NATO 1, 4 until NATO 6 visas, and Air and Sea crew traveling on CD. So these are all basically the list of categories that are exempted or have exceptions or based on the President Proclamation. Now, there are other exceptions that they've given, and these are based on national interest, by US Department of State. What it means is that, if you fall under NIE, you need to get some permission or follow the guidance given by US Department of State, so that you actually have enter with proper authorization, not just assuming that you fall under NIE, right? And who fall under these are fiancés on K1 visa, F1, M1 students, whose program is starting on August 1st or later, continuing students on F1 or M1 with a program start date of August 1st, journalists, and anyone entering US on critical infrastructure sectors. So these critical infrastructure sectors are about 16 sectors. We'll probably do another video on this or write an article on this. But you have to be part of this critical infrastructure sector if you want to seek national exception. And the pilot are air crew members who are supporting the aircraft maintenance and everything, be it they're on B1, B2 or M1 visas, including visa waiver programs. Yeah. And also someone traveling, an au pair visa. Au pair is nothing but someone who was young foreign worker, who actually support family with minimal wage, right? And they are actually supporting these green card holders or citizens or non-immigrants, and have special skills like either a sign language or exchange visitors who provide child care services or medical research. All of these fall under this. This is a J1 visa kind of category. And specialized teachers under G5 program or full-time teachers, and exchange visitors supporting foreign policy, and qualified travelers on humanitarian missions, right? Somebody traveling to support coronavirus situation, or medical professionals, all sorts of things, right? So these are all part of that. Now, in terms of the process, right? Let's say you fall under NIE, then you need to follow a certain process. So this is outlined by US Department of State or US Embassy. They released an FAQ, and that outlines all of these details. So we'll put a link of the article where we talk about all of these in detail, and you can check that. So you need to check with the consulate that issued your visa, right? So it's not about emailing any consulate. You have to write to the consulate that gave you the visa, and you need to put in all these details, and it has to be in English. So your biographic information like first name, last name, date of birth, place of birth, and country of citizenship, your passport number. And again, you have to put your visa number. This on the it's a red color number that you see on your passport. It's on the lower left. I would say, so that's the number and the category of that. And that number is very, very important, because that's the number they will actually take and put it in the system so that they can validate you have the right NIE exception. Yeah, this is what the consulates will do. So you're very, very important to put that number properly. Your travel dates, the confirmed travel dates, and you also need to quote and justify why you qualify for this. Right? Could be proof that you're part of this critical sector, or why you fall under this. Right? You need to submit that. So you need to take all of these details and put it in an email and send it to the consulate. To the consulate that actually gave you this visa. It could be Embassy New Delhi or Chennai. So these are the email IDs. So we also have a page that has all this information. You can check out that details. We'll put the link. But again, all of these are the places you need to email. And once you email, what they do is they will actually take about 2 weeks to review this. And they say there is no guarantee that they will respond within 2 weeks, but they'll try their best to give you a decision in 2 weeks. Yeah. So this is very, very important. And once you get the decision from them that you're okay to travel, you have about 30 days to travel under NIE. And this is important because in the past, there was no restriction as such with other travel bans that we had for H1B and others. But now they said that you need to travel within 30 days after you get the exception. So this is very, very important. And this process is not like I would say optional. This is mandatory. You need to follow that. If you do not follow, then you may actually face issues at port of entry. So it's better safe than sorry. You don't want to go and get stuck at US port of entry and CBP office trying to figure out all these details. So always write to the consulate, get clarified. This is especially for someone traveling under national interest exception and who are not part of proclamation. Yeah, very, very important. You follow this process. Now, looking at H1B situation, right? You could be somebody who traveled to US and traveled to India and got stuck for whatever reason, emergency, whatever, right? So it applies to you. It's very, very important if an H1B visa holder. It is not like in the past that, I was in the US when the proclamation came in, now I'm in India, now I can go back. It doesn't work like that. So it applies to you because it's not the previous one. And you can only travel and if you follow under NIE, and you need to be supporting critical infrastructure sectors. And there is about 16 of them, and you need to submit proof that you are part of that and you're supporting. So you need your employee letter or other proof that tells that you are part of that. Yeah. So very, very important. So the only exception to this is if your kid is, like 60, under 21 and a US citizen or a green card holder. Yeah. Similar situation with F1 visa holders. If you are going for summer term, you cannot really go because they clearly told that if you're going for summer, there's no option. You have to probably defer your admission. But if you're traveling after August, if your program starts after August 1st, then you're fine. You can enter within 30 days of your program start date, essentially from after July 1st. You have about 30 days, right? So you can travel during that time. So I'm assuming that's why they've given this. So these things may change depending on how the response, how the situation in India. So we'll keep you posted on that. But in general, as of today, the guidance stands as they said, right? Now, when does this start? It starts from 12:01 EST, which is essentially later tonight. And then that's when it starts on May 4th, Tuesday, and it does not apply to anyone who has left the US or boarded the flight before 12:01 EST and landed after 12:01. Yeah, the reason is if you boarded before the travel ban kicked in, you're fine. That's what they say. I mean, it depends on general, but this time they said that this is how it works, right? So it's much more clear on this. As you can see on the screen, right, it's highlighted, right, effective 12:01, and it does not apply to anybody traveling. Now, how long is the ban going to be? This one no one knows. Yeah, so there is no end date for this. They tell that when it is going to end. In the past, it used to say that, but now it's on a rolling basis. What I mean by that is, so US Secretary of Health and Human Services has to review situation every 30 days, and they need to inform President at the end of the month, telling that if they have to continue the ban or they need to terminate it. So this is there is no estimated time for this, so it's going to be very, very difficult for many people who are stuck. So again, we'll keep you posted on how it goes, but as of now, there is no defined end date for this. This is what you see on the screenshot as well, and this is how it works. So hopefully you got an idea on how the whole thing works. Again, it's a very difficult situation in India for many people, and unfortunately there is not much that can be done. So stay with the guidance and follow the process. Yeah. Again, thank you for watching. Do subscribe for getting regular updates. Hopefully this was helpful. If any questions, ask in the comments, or check out the article where we have more information on this.